Alright guys, how's it going? Well, I'm back from the old cafe, I've been for a coffee and some scrambled eggs, right? But to put these little red things on as well, which I weren't too happy about. Tomatoes, apparently. First time I've had them in my life, I think. Well, apart from when my nana and my mum used to force feed me back in the 80s. But I'm in this cafe bar, and I just thought if I leave them red things on the plate after scoffing the scrambled eggs, then the chicks that work there are going to go, he's a bit of a weirdo, isn't he? So I sat there, guys, and I ate all the tomatoes. I hope you're proud of me. Tag, if you're watching this video, I've got a different t-shirt on today. Tag 2056 on Twitter. Great. Insider. Yeah, let's call him an insider, an ITK. I love that. He put a tweet out yesterday mocking me for my t-shirt. Fucking hell. Anyway, he's my big bro. I love Tag. You should follow him if you're on Twitter. Oh, he knows a thing or two, and a person or two at the club. That is for sure. How you doing, guys? All right. So, when I woke up this morning, I received a message from a very good friend of mine, Cop Talk member as well. Obviously, VIP member. I'll have you know. And I don't know if if I should mention his full name, but he's called Paul. And he's a good lad. And good morning, Paul. If you're watching this, he's in America, Marko. And he sent me a message at 1 a.m. last night, local time, my time. FYI, hearing that United shares are up 14% at 4 p.m. PST in after-hours trading, over 250,000 trades in 6 hours, sale could be done. Not that I care about United, but it might push FSG. And I think and thank you for that, Paul. And I don't know anything about football finances at all. Certainly not to do with them. Although in recent years, I feel like I've been a bit of an accountant with, following Liverpool Football Club under these owners. I remember 10 years ago writing an editorial about we aren't supporters anymore, we're accountants. Hey! Gotta keep an eye on him. I wish they could see you balmy. Come here. He's running around with this in his head. In his mouth, sorry. Alright. Anyway, I remember doing this editorial, about a decade ago, saying that we're all like accountants today, not football supporters, because any conversation you have with people, people are like, oh, well, there's the net spend, there's the gross spend, and this and that. Oh God, it does my head in. Do you know what I mean? When I was a kid and when I was a young man, we never had conversations about anything like that, guys. You know what I mean? We didn't know. I didn't even know who owned the club. I knew who the chairman was, but I didn't know that meant he was the owner or anything. Do you know what I mean? Just watched football and wanted my team to compete, and that was it. Anyway, so under this ownership, that's how it plays out. So. The thing is, Liverpool Football Club was put up for sale formally, I think, last November. And it's gone very quiet, and people think that, it was never up for sale. It was just one of these, big ploys to... Can you get down, please? Yeah, it's like having a woman here. At least I can fucking smack the dog. You're not allowed to... Sorry, did I say that out loud? I'll get cancelled. You're not even allowed to joke about anything these days, Remy. Wait for it. It's 2023. That's not funny. I can't remember what I was saying. I do believe the club is up for sale. A lot of people think that FSG just bluffing and stuff like that. And I believe the club is up for sale. I think that the sale of Manchester United, or the fact that Manchester United became available for purchase, is the reason why it's been so quiet, because I think the owners, are monitoring that situation, because you can see how much it goes for example, in very simplest terms. Now, both clubs are very different, when it comes down to finances and assets and squads and all that stuff and whatnot, and what might need investing into Manchester United Stadium and blah, blah, blah. So it's not like for like, but it does give them some idea of valuation and stuff like that, right? But they are two of the world's most famous football clubs, right? And I would argue in England that they are the two biggest football clubs and supported football clubs, you know what I mean? What was I going to say? Sorry. And yes, we know that Chelsea was sold recently, but that was a quick sale. I don't think you can really, there was controversial reasons for that, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I'm repeating myself over recent videos, but the reason for this video is it's relevant, I think, that you should keep an eye on what happens with Manchester United. Paul here is thinking along the same, wavelength as me in terms of that it might, affect things with FSG. I don't think we'd see anything immediately. But I think we're entering that period, and the period I would say is like what we now say with June. So even I would say August to end of year, I would expect us to possibly, sorry, I'm getting messages coming through. I would expect us to possibly see more or see some speculation about what might happen with Liverpool Football Club. We know that they appointed the new sporting director on a short-term contract, which coincides with the completion date of the redevelopment of Anfield again. All very nice, positive things, redeveloping the ground again. But let's not be mistaken here. This puts value on their asset. And it brings extra revenue in for the club. But are they doing it to benefit us, or they're doing it to benefit them? Your FSG out is going to say it's all about them. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, one thing that really annoys me about these owners is we don't really know who they are, even all this time on, right, to the present day, if you like. Right? Do you know them any more than when they first took over the club? Do you know what I mean? So when they bought the club, and I went out to Boston, and obviously, I met people out there in business and stuff like that, and people that were heavily involved with their Rounders team and that, right? And when I say heavily involved in their Rounders team, I don't mean the part of Fenway or anything. I want to make that clear. Do you know what I mean? I won't want to mislead you. I didn't meet anyone within the organisation, whereas obviously when Hicks and Gillette bought Liverpool Football Club, they invited me to Canada, to Montreal and to Dallas in Texas, and that was a completely different situation. So I did have some knowledge of who they were as individuals, and not just all the anti-Gillette and Hicks vibe that was on the internet that we could all read, right? And that, of course, was before it went pear-shaped. With FSG, no such invitations or anything like that. And to be honest with you, I've never even tried, I'm not even going to say I've never tried point blank to reach out to any of these people for the simple reason that I genuinely do not like them. So I don't wish any harm on them. I can acknowledge the good things that they've done for Liverpool Football Club, but I'm very frustrated because I feel like they've taken us as far as they can. And if they sold the club now, they could turn around and say, well, we went in, we delivered a, league title. I know the FSG out people, and trust me, I am one of them, to an extent, will say, no, it was Klopp, but we cannot deny the fact that they owned the club when we, did that. And I'm not bigging them up for it, right? Jurgen Klopp did it. It's as simple as that. I get it. But we still can acknowledge, surely, the improvements that they have made at the club, especially on the corporate side, the financial side. And there's a massive there's been a massive emphasis of that, if you like. And, is it just because it benefits them, or does it benefit the whatever? It doesn't matter. We could be here all day arguing the whatever. But what I'm saying is, if they were to sell the club now and say, do you know what? We came in, it was a little bit harder than we thought. We'd like to think that we've improved things. And they can take all their money that they want. Because they put the risk in, right? They put that money in. They didn't put much in, and they didn't fucking save us either. So don't start that shite, right? It's like we've been in what's administration? What was it back in the day? Getting deducted 10 points or something? Or I don't know. People seem to think that that Liverpool Football Club would have folded. They're the gullible people. Trust me, Jesus. But that's a conversation. But what I'm saying is we've lost more points under them from a lack of investment than ever. So we might as well have been in administration. I feel like we've been in administration ever since they bought the club. It don't matter. It set me off. Right. So fucking no idea where I'm going with this video. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say sell the club now, right, to the men in flip-flops, right, and I'll be happy. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Sandals. All right, there you go. Because, that'll wind up the top reds and all them lot, won't it? So that'd be great. Yeah, you know what I mean? I fancy it. And then at least we could say, do you know what? Cheers, nice one, thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. Not sure you did your best, but you didn't, you weren't the worst owners. Adios, or goodbye. All right, so that would be pretty cool, don't you think? Yeah? So, what else was I going to try and say? I'm all over the place. You know what I'm like. It's because I ain't got a cup of tea. Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to say keep an eye on things because, the Manchester United situation coming to a potential closure soon, that could affect things a little bit. I don't expect anything to happen overnight, though, that is for sure. But what I was saying, I've just remembered, was... God, it's warm in here. What I was saying was... oh my God, I've just remembered what I was going to say and I forgot. We don't know them. That's what I was going to say. I'm trying to say we don't know them, do we? All these years on, we don't know them. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I like... Wait! Get in here. They'll already be annoyed with me. Don't need you annoying as well. We don't know them. And I think it's important. I mean, they've never, sat down, have they? Do you remember when David Moyes owned the club and they'd have the annual AGM and stuff like that? If you were a shareholder, you could pop along and stuff. And the chairman or the ownership at the time would be accountable. So you used to get, was it Steve Morgan was his name? He'd always be, locking heads with David Moyes and causing problems, whatever. But you could go along and say, right, come on, what's that? They're not accountable. And they're on the other side of the world as well. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like that Man City one, isn't it? What was his first game in a decade plus or something like that? Was that what it was when he was at the final the other day? I mean, that's made me sick seeing all that. And that speaks volumes. The only thing is they do have a really good setup in terms of senior management and the people that do go along. But I don't know. Like at Newcastle, I like the way I don't know. Fuck them anyway. The whole thing is, it's very worrying, right? It's very worrying, right? We shouldn't people say, don't worry what happens with the clubs, but you gotta. Manchester United, if they get this guy from Qatar or whatever, I don't even know his name, I won't be able to pronounce it anyway. If he buys the club, as Rafa would say, what happens to them then? We've got Newcastle. I remember when Newcastle bought the club, I remember saying to you guys, this is great. And you were all like, are you mental, you silly fat? And I went, no, I think this is great because, it puts pressure on our owners. Because you've got Newcastle now we're going to be challenging. But they are challenging, as proven, right? So Man United get stronger. Newcastle have emerged, all right? Man City emerged many years ago. The old dynamics of the Premier League has changed. Tottenham will probably be next. Where does that leave Liverpool, guys? Do you know what I mean? Where does that leave Liverpool? And I know many of you are like, I'm all right with this ownership. Guys, we're getting left behind. And you can't see it. And one day you're all going to start, not all of you, one day all of you guys that thought it was acceptable, you're all going to be sat there going, oh, God, this ain't right. It'll be too late then. It'll be too late then. And Seano, bless him, when he set up Fenway, we come not to pay, every single thing he said back then was true. It was. And the amount of abuse and hostility that lad was subjected to was off the grid. But now more and more people, I see him saying to him all the time, Seano, you were right. Sorry, mate. Sorry, it don't fucking help him, does it, after all the abuse he got put through? Do you know what I mean? You should do it again. And I say to Seano, I've said to him, over your dead body, mate, don't be doing that. Fuck them. If they had an opportunity in the past to raise volume, to raise the volume, to say what they thought about these owners, they chose not to. And now that more and more people are realising that they're not good. But anyway, listen, and I don't want this to be a massive anti-FSG video. As much as I don't particularly like these people, it doesn't dictate my life, and I don't hate them. It just frustrates me. It frustrates me. And if you're one of those people that are frustrated, whether you're everything they do is wrong, or whether you're like, well, they're all right, but I'm a bit frustrated. If you're one of those people, then what's happening here, like what Paul said to me about Manchester United, could be what could be what we want to see. To be honest with you, because going back this year, all I kept thinking was, I can't wait to Manchester United or so, because that might put some pressure on our guys. I don't know. I have no idea, guys. I'm not a finance guy. I can't manage my own finances, never mind think about football finances. I don't like the way football's gone, but there you go. shit video. I accept it. I'm not even going to ask you to thumbs it up. But if you want to, leave a comment, fair enough. What's the point of the video? The point of the video is Paul there saying that, there's been this massive trading on, and maybe that's, somebody knows something, I don't know. I mean, it's all over the news, isn't it? But if people are moving around a lot of money and stuff like that, then maybe that's the proof that something's done. I don't know how it all works, to be honest with you. Right, that's it. Apologies if it's a rubbish video. Keep an eye on Manchester United. I do think it affects things. I think our owners are watching what's happening there. You'd be stupid not to, wouldn't you? If you were selling your house and your neighbour's house on the same street comes up for sale, even if it's slightly different to yours, and maybe yours has a few more attractive bits and pieces, and maybe theirs does, whatever, you're still going to watch it, aren't you? Because if it went for more money than what your estate agent told you, right, your representative, you'd be saying to you, hang on a minute, have you seen how much he just got for his? And we've got this. And we don't need to, whoever buys this don't have to spend as much on this gaff as their shithole, so they have to watch it. And I think it would have been a bad sign if the Glazers had hung on. And at one point, they were saying that, right? They might stay. I think that if they'd have stayed, the Glazers, or if they stay, because I don't think anything's official yet, I don't particularly monitor it closely, guys. I just wait for, the official news with this stuff. If they stay, or had they stayed, whatever, I think that would be terrible. When I started hearing that about United, that they might stay, I was like, oh, this is, because I don't think our lot would go anywhere if they stayed, because they're all in it together, aren't they? So fucking, I hate Manchester United, guys, I really do. But I can also relate, I won't say feel, relate for those fans. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know you hate I despise Manchester United. I once changed my name to Mr. Manchester United by deed poll to raise money for a cancer hospice, right in the very start of Cop Talk in the 90s. And I was asked why I did that. And I said, well, my nana had been looked after in this hospice, right? And, she died of cancer and stuff like that. And, I wanted to raise some money, for the hospice. And people said, what are you going to do? You've got to do something. I wanted to do something that made me feel like I'd done something. So I didn't want to sit in a bath of beans, you know what I mean? I wanted to do something that I thought I really wouldn't like, it would make me feel challenged. And I changed it to Mr. Manchester United. It was all in the media at the time. We're on Sky Sports News and that. In fact, Sky Sports News said to me, I don't know if it was called Sky Sports News, and I guess it was. They said to me at the time, what we want to do is we want you to wear a Manchester United shirt and stand in the middle of the Cop. I said, you fuck. But they said, there'll be no fans there. We'll just go down one day. The club, they've said we can do it. And I went, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that. Not that much. They can have a few bob, but I'm not I'm not that mental. So yeah, I hate Manchester United. But it's still, football without your rivals is nothing, guys. Do you know what I mean? Football without your rivals, nothing. And beating a weak opposition isn't as good as beating, a strong opposition, in my opinion. Yeah, I know we like to, beat the opposition regardless, but I don't know. I'm old school. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you. When I watched that Champions League final the other night, I had no interest in that final for a start. And the reason I watched it is because obviously I wanted Inter Milan to win, right? And I used to want Manchester City. I'll rephrase that. I know that the real Manchester City fans, many, many years ago, they had a rough ride supporting that club. They really did. And they were due a break, like the Newcastle fans. So when Newcastle got investment, I was delighted. And I kind of was as well with Manchester City. I remember calling them scum too once. My uncle, who was a Leeds United fan, he's a Leeds United fan, he is still. But his heart's not in it. Like, he was in it football in his 70s, 80s, hooligans and all that sort of stuff. And I fucking hates Manchester United. He always calls them scum, you know what I mean? And I remember being a kid, I was probably about 10. And I remember Man City were on television. I think it was called The Match back then or something. It was like a live game on ITV, I think. We didn't get much live football in. And I remember saying, oh, it's scum too, And my uncle went, no. I was only a kid, I was sat on the floor playing with my fucking cars or some shit like that. I don't know, doing something. I remember being sat on the floor. And he said, no, don't. He said, they're not scum. Man United, they're scum. Man City are not scum. And you take on board stuff like that, if you've got an older brother or an uncle or a dad or whatever, you listen to that wisdom. Is that the right word? experience, I don't know. So then I always thought, all right, Man City are okay. And then as I got older through my teens, I realised that, they were all right. Their fans were pretty loyal, do you know what I mean? Like Leeds United fans over the years, Newcastle fans, they've had, ups and downs and all that, more downs than anything. And so Man City, I wanted to do well, but I can't stand Man City. And when I watched that European Cup final, I genuinely thought watching Man United would win that would have been... I would rather have said... I can't believe I'm going to say... I don't think many Liverpool fans will get that, to be honest with you. But the way I look... I don't want to see either of them clubs win it, but the way I look at it is I can put my hands up and go, Manchester United is a real football club. That's it. That's all I think. And Man City, with those question marks over, what rules they may have broken, I don't know, right? You can be charged with something and not done it, right? I don't know. I know by default Liverpool fans, you cheats, I don't know, right? But even taking that away, I hate this, if you can smash the opposition just financially all the time, I don't see where the competition, I don't know what the answer is to it, guys. I don't like Pep Guardiola, I've got to be honest with you. I think he's smarmy as fuck. I don't like him. I don't care if that puts me in a minority. I don't. And when they start saying, is he the greatest manager? Is he better than Sir Alex? I just think you're having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? There's no taking away that he's a great manager at all. I don't know. I think Sam Allardyce has got it right, to be honest with you. His views are packed on me. He don't like Rafa. So, he don't like Rafa, does Sam. But... I'm all over the place for this video. But no, I genuinely did think, like Manchester United, if they'd have won it, I'd have gone, fair enough, I fucking hate you, but at least you're a proper football club. These fuckers now, don't know, I don't know why. People say it's envious. Is it envy? I guess there is some envy. What are you envious of, though? Cheating. If Liverpool Football Club ever... participated, even if there was if it was our club in that situation with all those question marks over them, I'd be like, I wouldn't be celebrating me. I'd be like, well, I want to see what happens with it all, because that's not for me. It ain't for me, guys, at all. It's the same with football players. When people used to talk about people like Luis Suarez, I understand players maybe going down for a penalty or something like that if there's contact, but I don't like cheats. Do you know what I mean? Thierry Henry as well, another one. I just don't like cheat. You've got to win fair and square. And if my club was like that, I'd be like, take it all off us. Do you know what I mean? If it's proven, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Why does it take so long? I don't know. I just don't like Man City. And I feel for, I'm really happy for their old school fans. But how can you have a club that was so far down the divisions and then become successful, and then they can't fill the stadium? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And one of the most troubling things is my grandson Harry, right? He's got the Man City kit and everything, and then his mates have as well. So the little kids, do you know what I mean? Because they want to. I guess when you're a kid, you want to follow the best. I supported Liverpool as a kid. I work from Liverpool, so is it no different? I think it is different, because our grandson Harry, his dad's a massive Sunderland fan, and then he's got his mum, my daughter, that's massive Liverpool fan. So mum and dad have fought for years over a Liverpool kit, Sunderland kit, and they've had a compromise, with the kits and stuff like that. And lots of you guys have seen Harry and stuff, and he loves his football, but he's not so much bothered about Manchester City, the club. He probably doesn't even know where it is. But his favourite players play for Man City, and I've said to his mum, you need to drill it into him. Players come and go, do you know what I mean? I'd rather he supported Sunderland. I don't know what this video is about. Don't know, but I need to crack on. All right, I'm sorry it's all over the place. The point of the video was to say that, with Manchester United maybe getting closer to, a resolution on the ownership front, maybe that will then be something for us to consider with our owners. I believe Liverpool Football Club is up for sale. Many people do. I think I'm a bit of a lone wolf with that view at the moment, but I think it is. And I wouldn't be surprised once that stadium expansion's complete, I just think they're waiting on that, and I think that they are keeping an eye on United. As daft as it may sound, I think us guys that want change at Liverpool should welcome a Manchester United sale, because if it doesn't sell and the Glazers retain it, I don't think our people will go either. I'd love to sit in a room with John Henry, wouldn't you? I'd rather sit in a room with fucking Linda. Bedroom. But you know what I mean? So let's see what happens. I need to crack on. Getting messages here, what we got here. Sorry, I dropped my friend off at hospital this morning for surgery. I was up very early, and they just messaged that they're, about to, go and deal with things like that. So you know what's going on. Anyway, don't matter. You don't know what's going on. I don't even know what I'm saying. What I mean is, you know what happens when someone messages you and says they're sorting things out. It's a friend of mine. Do you know what I mean? And I have terrible experience of hospital, as some of you will know. So I don't want to dwell on that too much, and it's just not very nice. Okay, sorry if the video is rubbish. I don't know. Thanks.